Welcome to Get Indie Gaming and to the June edition of the series where we take a look at a handful of titles that might have passed you by the first time around. Coming up, we have a colourful puzzler, gorgeous looking pixel art, a hack and slash dungeon brawler and more besides. Without wasting any more time, let's crack on. Out on early access in October of last year and making this month's number 5 position, we have Earheart: Tales of Broken Wings. A fun and charming looking and playing roguelike action game about a woman called Amelia who lives among a world of floating islands. She catches skyfish with her airplane and dreams of one day reaching the stratosphere and bagging the fabled sky whale, a feat which will earn her a lifetime of fame and fortune. The basics of the gameplay are fairly simple. Venture out to catch fish, return home safely to sell them on to buy new equipment and upgrade your plane. Sounds easy enough, and yet Amelia's world is full of security drones, space pirates, and at times, fish that turn the tables to hunt you too. As with many early access offerings, there are a few rough edges. We had issues with our save data, and the flight controls took a while to grasp, but once you have, things become easy enough. With a demo available to play now, regular updates since launch, we're quietly confident this one's going to reach its full potential at some point in the future. In 4th spot for June, we find Milkmaid of the Milky Way, developed by Mattis Folkstedt out of Norway. This one landed back in early January, although we only stumbled upon it a few weeks ago. In truth, it's come as a wonderful surprise. You play as Ruth, living alone on a farm in a picturesque fjord, tending to her cows amongst the rivers and valleys she calls home. The fjord is eloquently put together with its bluish mountains and water offset by luscious-looking green fields. The characters too are delightful with their rendered blocky bodies that feature fluid and realistic animations. In a clever twist, the dialogue is written in rhyme. Some passages work better than others, although conversations for the most part feel warm, charming and full of life. Of course, it wouldn't be an adventure game without puzzles, and this one contains enough of them to provide for a few solid hours of entertainment. They're not terribly difficult, although they do feel paced to aid progression. So to summarise, Milkmaid of the Milky Way is a little charmer that's full of creativity and colour. Well worth checking out on the PC and iOS. Cave Blazers is one of the most fun roguelikes, landing on the scene for ages, having recently come out of early access onto a full release for the PC. Okay, so there's no denying it, it's certainly taken a hefty chunk of inspiration from Spelunky, from its setting to gameplay mechanics, although we should stress this one is not a simple copy and paste job. One of the main differences here that sets it apart from others like it is the combat, which is sliced into 3 different forms: melee, ranged and magic. Melee does a lot of damage but leaves the player vulnerable. Ranged is great for popping off enemies from a distance or keeping them at arm's length, and with magic, well, that pretty much does what you'd expect. The combat itself is fast paced and can quickly morph into mass punch-ups with multiple enemies. We particularly like the large variety of enemies and their different styles of combat. Their pathfinding system is also a joy, with them seemingly being able to chase and follow you around with alarming accuracy. As expected with roguelikes, we have boss battles which come every 3rd level. These are fun and challenging and nicely set out. One minor thing, unlike most roguelikes, there's very little in the way of in-game player development. People looking to get faster, better or stronger with each playthrough might want to look elsewhere. In any case, Cave Blazers is a solid title that plays fair and gives players a tough but beatable challenge. Cosmic Express, this month's runner-up, launched this past March 16th on the PC, iOS and Android. It's a warm and fuzzy-looking, tricky puzzler about guiding aliens through a space colony. The goal is simple enough. Get the little colourful alien buddies of yours where they need to be along a one-way rail track. It's easy to pick up and get into. Clicking and dragging the mouse allows you to draw your pathway. Difficulty-wise, it starts simple enough, although before too long the game morphs into one heck of a brain teaser. We really enjoyed the level structure, particularly where there's branching paths that you can unlock as you complete levels. This means if you get stuck at any given point, there's usually another level to play. A nice little touch. As should be apparent from some of our other videos, we're very much puzzle game players here at Get Indie Gaming, and in Cosmic Express, we have something we keep going back to.
Once upon a time, there was a hero. Like every hero, he did not want to be there in the first place.
Every once in a while, a game comes along, passes us by, and yet when we take a closer look, we're utterly mesmerised by it. This month's number 1 from April 2016 is one of those titles. Stories, The Path of Destinies on the PC and PlayStation 4 is an action RPG with Diablo 3's isometric stylings that offers a choose-your-own dungeon crawling adventure mixed with an Arkham series counter-based combat system. The presentation is what really makes the game stand out with its gorgeous art, sarcastic sense of humour and a wonderfully brutal combat system. Bundle in a large dose of replay value with the numerous stories to uncover, a levelling and progression system that always adds something new with every playthrough. We have a fun playing and well-told action RPG tale that I think everybody should have a go at. So, with Stories, The Path of Destinies taking the number 1 slot for the June edition of Games You Might Have Missed, it's time to put this episode to bed. Many thanks again for stopping by Get Indie Gaming, and we hope you've enjoyed today's video. We'll be back again soon with our monthly indie game trailer wrap-up, our Kickstarter showcase, and of course our top 5 countdown of the month's best looking indie game launches. Here's hoping to see you here again soon.